I'm sitting here today with Ken McMahon, and most people would know Ken from McMahon Air Conditioning, which is a company that had a long history in Dubbo, and they probably know you from a whole range of other involvements in Dubbo, in charity organisations, in fundraisers, and a whole range of things. But you've had a great history, and I think a great contribution you've made to the Dubbo community.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew. I've been born in Dubbo, so I've seen Dubbo grow, and say mainly through the guidance of our father, who developed the business, which started in 1936.
Wow, it's going back a few years.
It ran for 86 years, but
wow.
Brother Doug and I got to the stage where we ran out of steam.
That's right. Look, you've hit 50 years of age now, so it's probably time to slow down.
Just touched on that, but in those years, as a kid, I went to school here and grew up here. I've seen Dubbo develop as such in many different ways, and oftentimes I mention different things to people, and they look at you and say, "Did that happen? Is that really so?" And then I've had 40 odd years with the Lions Service Club, and just recently I mentioned to someone that we grew wheat where Big W is now.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So, but little things like that. But I remember the old White Bridge over the Macquarie River before the LH Ford Bridge was built.
Yep. And the White Bridge, from memory, was just slightly north of the current location of the LH Ford Bridge.
Correct. Yeah, it should still be there today, I reckon.
I think there's a marker there.
Yeah, I think so. There is a few stumps, I believe.
Yeah.
But I've seen Dubbo grow immensely, and especially West Dubbo.
Yep.
Because
Victoria Street, obviously, that's where McMahon Air Conditioning was.
That's in the last 35, 40 years. Yeah, that's where it's located. Yeah, so that's really changed faces now,
and you would have seen incredible growth, not just around where your business was, but just that whole West Dubbo area. When you talk about the areas around the golf course and going up Manor Road, incredible growth.
Victoria Street, I've got a photo where Western Plains Automotive are now, with courage-on trees growing on it. So, wow.
So wheat at Arana Mall, courage-on trees at Western Plains Automotive.
Yep.
You can see that Dubbo's obviously expanded just a little bit.
And a lot of water's flowed under the bridge in that time. But West Dubbo's a great place. I spent most of my years in South Dubbo, but I've been over there for the last 14 years and quite enjoy it, really.
Yeah.
But the only thing we didn't enjoy, or still don't enjoy, is that horrible roundabout there in Victoria Street. But,
so you'd also remember when there were traffic lights there at that particular roundabout?
Yes,
yes.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because it was before my time on council, but I remember there were traffic lights there, and they changed to a roundabout because they talked about the flow, the traffic numbers for flow there were better suited to a roundabout. And it's now at the point where the flow of traffic is better suited to traffic lights.
Yeah, well...
It does feel like Back to the Future.
It is. It's very, very congested there, so something will have to be done, and hopefully maybe a bypass one day. I think myself, along with the 80-odd% of Dubbo residents, agree that there should be a bypass there.
Yeah, so that's interesting, Ryan. I'll touch on something that happened about 4 years ago when the state government of the day did say that they would duplicate the LH Ford Bridge. And part of that duplication was to reduce that congestion. And as you know, living over that side, if you're trying to come across to the main part of Dubbo 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's very congested. That's all changed now, and there's kind of a half-pregnant solution that's going forward, where it's trying to address some of the congestion, trying to address a bit of the bypass. It doesn't really do either. But it sounds like a leading question, but what are your thoughts on the duplication of the LH Ford Bridge? Do you think that would have been a good solution to try and reduce some of that congestion around where you sit?
Having lived and driven that roundabout on a daily basis, the duplication of the LH Ford Bridge, to me, did not make sense. It's only going to create more problems in Cobra Street. We really need a bypass around Dubbo to get rid of the heavy transport and also the tourist traffic. We don't want to get rid of those, but we want them to come into Dubbo.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about time something happened, I think.
Yeah, and council had a plan back, and I'm just trying to remember now, I think it was 2012, we put a plan through council that showed the road network, long-term road network, and that we called it a freightway. It's now being called a ring road, but that actually had a freightway that did take that heavy traffic and that mainly highway traffic around the outskirts of Dubbo. So the planning was there from a council perspective. It doesn't seem to be there at the moment from the state government.
It's unfortunate, but it's not only us residents that don't like it, you're only going to talk to the truckies. They hate it,
Yeah.
you know.
And I do get some feedback from Narromine residents where people are now using pseudo bypass, where they're leaving the new highway around Tomingley, going through Narromine, and then coming out again at Mundry. And the problem with that is that that road isn't really built for the traffic that's going on it.
No, and plus the congestion it can cause in Narromine.
Correct.
You've got to cross the highway.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's interesting. So are there any other burning issues you see from a state government perspective?
well, where do we start and where do we finish? Yeah, no. Look, Dubbo's a great place, and we've been led by many great people, including yourself
Thank you.
as mayor and councillor for all those years. There's been some great people, and Dubbo are very lucky that we've had that leadership in the past. So let's hope that the leadership can develop in the future, and we continue to grow and expand at a sensible rate.
Yeah, and look, hopefully I will be part of that leadership. I've got a couple of months to go till the election, but I'd like to be back in there and helping lead the growth of Dubbo and the entire electorate and go forward with that strong leadership as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you can do it, and being a local boy yourself, you've seen all these things happen.
Not quite as many as the ones you've seen, maybe your memory's better.
But I do remember your dad.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he was a motor dad, so
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it's a great place. Wife Geraldine and I, we've travelled a lot,
Yep.
and it's always nice to come home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Anyway, great to see you, Ken.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for your time
Matthew.
today.
Good man. Thank you.
Thanks.